up everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have two of my friends here. Will introduce themselves now.
My name's Cesara.
My name's Juan.
This is the second time we're making this video, so yeah.
Ali.
I'm gonna be asking them questions and we're gonna get to know them because they're like the most adorable couple. Let's ask them some questions. First question, where did you guys meet?
I already got that.
We had a rehearsal round and technically we met in a class we had together. We had like 3 classes that semester actually.
Yeah.
3 classes. No, we met in this one class in particular. It was fall of 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it?
I think it's 2015.
You know,
2015.
It has to be 2015.
It was funny.
I know more about
because
them than
he didn't sit
them.
next to me first.
At first, I did not sit next to him.
No. It was another person that was sitting next to me.
Yeah.
And then one day that person wasn't in.
He was late. He was frequently late to class.
And
or
then
absent.
and then Juan was like, "Let me step in." And
Because I remember, because I was working this new job. I was working at this textbook company that was right off of campus, and I had to work outside. It was because it started off as a seasonal position, and so they made me do it. I mean, not made me, but there was a lot of grunt work because it was like first week of school. It was really busy, and so I was like drenched in sweat the first class. And I saw there was a spot next to you, but I'm like, I smell really bad. I don't want to sit next to anyone, especially not this pretty girl. So I'm gonna sit in the row behind her and just stare at her creepingly. And like the next week or the week after that seat was empty, and I'm just like, eh. Like, I remember sitting down in that same row, and I looked at the seat next to you, and it was empty. I'm like, should I go over there and talk to her? She's probably not gonna want to talk to me. Like, we'll see what comes of it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Did she talk to you?
And she talked to her, and then she got married.
The first joke.
2 years later or a year later.
Oh, was that the same day? Is that the first joke ever?
Yeah.
I made a joke.
It was a good joke. I snorted. It was a good joke.
Okay, so second question.
The rare instances where I make a good joke. There you go.
Yeah.
Paid off.
He is sometimes funny. Where was your first date?
First date.
Yeah.
We gotta decide if that was a date or not. Right now, official. Is that a date?
I think
we're gonna write it.
Technically,
it's a story we have to tell our kids.
Technically, going to the movies with Mariam.
Yeah.
Her
kind
sister.
of was. I mean, it was halal.
You heard that, kids?
Keep it halal.
Yeah.
But because it was the end of that semester that we met. We had 3 classes together, and I'm like, what are the chances we're gonna have 3 classes again next year? We were studying for finals, and there was one night where I was just like, I have to ask her. I have to make an attempt.
Yeah.
Or otherwise I'm gonna like regret it, right? I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life. Because at that point, it was a few months we had been talking to each other, and we had become good friends, and blah 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 blah. Yeah. And I'm just like, I gotta. And my friend was like, dude, if you don't ask her.
No. And then you know when he asked me, I was studying with Aisha. Aisha was there.
My other sister.
Yeah, my other sister was there. And then even then, I did not know. I was in denial that he liked me. Mm-hmm. Like my friend Jess told me like, no, he likes you. Yeah. He really likes you. And then Aisha's way of saying someone likes you. She goes like, the boy's too close to you.
She was like, that's a code for like big sister. Like, I don't like it.
I don't like that he's this close.
And I had no idea. I genuinely oblivious to whether or not you like me. So I'm like, what's there to lose? I mean,
oh. Can I tell what I thought? Can I please?
Yes.
Please.
It's my channel. I say
yes.
Nothing to do with the story.
Okay. No, it has everything to do with.
Okay.
So I thought it was gay.
I did not expect that.
No, okay. The first time when we started to talk, and then we started hanging out
my
more.
friends see this. This is gonna
and then he was like, I got notes. I can share it with you. And then when we were talking, he kept on joking about a boyfriend.
What? I never said anything
did.
about a boyfriend. When was
He
this
did.
conversation?
That was a boyfriend in there, okay? And I was like, well, we're friends.
And you thought...
I was like, he
joke.
was fun to hang around with. And I was like, to the point where my mom, she was like, oh, you're hanging too much with this boy. I was like, don't worry, he's gay.
And your mom was okay with it?
Yeah, my mom was like, oh, he's gay. Okay.
Wow.
And then my mom knew.
That's the best love story. I wasn't just friend zoned.
He was friend zoned. He was gay
friend
zoned.
zoned.
Wow.
And I came back. This is the only thing I can take away from that.
The game is too strong.
Yeah.
I don't know when I found out you weren't gay. Oh wait, yeah, I remember now.
Okay, who said I love you first?
I did. We discovered that. I think that was a consensus, right? Whoa.
I hit her with my ring. Plus, like, I knew.
I saw that. That was not hit. That was a gentle, like, caressing. We were insistent on not saying it.
Yeah.
Before we were really serious. Before we were super serious.
Yeah.
Because a lot of.
Or just marriage, or like.
Yeah. Before there was like a definitive sort of commitment towards marriage.
Okay.
Which was the proposal. But but because, a lot of people throw it around a little bit. I mean, kids in high school, they throw it around really easily.
Yeah.
And it's like, to them it's really strong, but it kind of cheapens. That's the word I was looking for. Cheapens it. Yeah.
I think though, like, I love you and I'm in love with you has lost its meaning.
Yeah.
Because everybody, like, I don't think we understand what love is when we're saying I love you to a person. And so which makes it really meaningless. Like, I don't know. People say like I hate you is like, don't say I hate you because it's
a really good thing to say.
It's like a strong word or whatever. I'm like, but I love you is also a strong thing. Yeah. So don't say it if you don't mean it. Yeah. It's not cool.
Yeah.
And I guess because you can love a friend.
Yeah.
So you can say you love them, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. So you have to. The moral of the lesson is either save it. If you're in a relationship with someone, I suggest you save it until
you're sure that you're.
Or if you do it too early, you better come up with a really good way to like express that verbally.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come up with something. So you're either. I don't know, because it's kind of hard. Because when you fall for someone and then you're in that initial puppy love stage, you really want to say it, so it's hard.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be hard at the beginning or hard at the end when you're like, you want to tell them how much you love them, but you've already said I love you, so you have to come up with something like...
Yeah, something epic to actually show you mean it. Like, write a poem.
You have to get like creative.
Or like write a book about the person.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Who wears the pant in this relationship? Who's bossy? Who's the boss?
I'm bossy, but we make the decisions together.
But there's some decisions I know. There's something that there's some instances where there's something you really want. So I'm like, okay, yeah, well, and I have no preference. So it's like,
okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And then there's times where it's like, well, I think we should take this other action. I'll actually like make an effort.
There hasn't been a time where you put your foot down yet, but I'm pretty sure in the future there'll be something that you want to put your foot down on.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you guys have any traditions together? Like, since you guys got married or got together, have you guys built up something else you look forward to do together?
Now that I think about it, visiting our parents has sort of become a tradition.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I feel like maybe years from now, like Saturdays will always be days with your parents, and Sundays are still going to be days with my parents.
Yeah.
So that's one tradition. Do you guys have another one?
Late dinner? Yeah,
late dinner.
I know their answer. They answered it before.
I was trying to think of a different way to say it. Like having dinner later. We usually have dinner like after.
Well, it's more like the ritual of it. Like I'll have like the table set, and then and I like to cook, so I like to.
Well, I just realized this would be like our first. This year is going to be our first round of of holidays. So like we did Easter with my parents, and then we were also talking in the first round about how my parents are Christian and your parents are Muslim.
Yeah.
So there's not that there we get more traditions because we're not going to do like the full Christmas stuff with my parents, but we'll go see them on Christmas Day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I can see like
out of respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see us like inshallah in the future when we have kids. I'll see them like bringing them to my parents' place to hang out with their cousins because they're gonna have off from school anyways.
Yeah.
And then during Eid, it'll sometimes be in the summer, so maybe we'll go spend it with your family. And
and their cousins.
Easter, So there's no clashing. There's no clashing at all. There's no like the moms won't be fighting because other relationships. That's a thing. Like the mother-in-laws will fight because it's like you had them last Christmas, so I get them this Christmas.
Yeah, which makes it really easy for you guys.
Yeah,
which is really nice. So like on top of that question, I have two questions. Okay, so. And the first one I asked how like a biracial couple, you know, like if you guys had any trouble with that and if people say anything to you guys. But I also want to ask if you guys also get something about like your family being Christian and then, you know, like you're being a convert or a revert. Like has there been any problem with that?
No.
Or like any weird like incidents?
Like with my family. But I think you're meaning like with other people, like with like
anyone.
Anyone? Oh, I guess yeah. With like after I converted, there was obviously definitely American convert can tell you it's not a pretty
I think
couple of months.
if a family has like a line of it's become a tradition to be that religion, and then when someone leaves, it's always hard for the family.
With the convert.
Yeah.
But besides that was a few months of unpleasantness. But besides that, not really.
I mean
like now for you, it's what we were talking about before. Now for you, it's the language barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with that.
And
so like I forgot to mention like talk about your like background. I didn't mention it because like this is the second time we're making this video. It's like I forget to say things. Yeah. So
I'm Mexican and she's
Malaysian.
Half
I am Malaysian.
Malaysian.
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah. I am mixed but Malaysian.
Yeah.
She had like other parts to her, like Indian and Arab and
a little bit of it.
I have no idea what my grandmother is. She confuses me. She might, I don't know. I feel like she's a lot of things.
That's like a cocktail, right? Like everything, a mix of everything,
and then, like,
which is really beautiful.
And then Mexican is just like people like, oh, Mexican, but it's like that's already a mixture of number of things too, because that's European. You have Spaniard blood. My name's not originally from the area where Mexico is in. It's from my last name, I should say. And that's from Spain.
I can't say your last name.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Robledo.
Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna try.
And then like a mixture of that plus whatever Native American, like the Aztecs and the Mayans that were already here, and then other indigenous people, and then Arabs actually came to Mexico too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lebanese actually came. So for all I know, there might be some Arab blood in me.
Yeah, I think like Spanish came from Arabic.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So the only I was saying this, the only pure ones are black people. Okay, we're pure. I feel like I'm gonna get hate if
I'm sorry, we're not pure.
I just realized I didn't even think
from
about
Ethiopia to the first person to be discovered, which is like Lucy. So
I just realized though that there was a thing when I first started. So I used to work at this pizza place, and when they found, and you know, it was an interesting combination of events. So it was the first job. Yeah, it was the first job I got. Like when I converted, I already had a job, but then I quit that job and I had to get a new job. So it was the first job I got as a convert, and then it turned out to be a pizza place owned by Muslims. So they had halal options available, but being any sort of because it was a restaurant in Houston, it's going to be worked by mostly Hispanic people, mostly Mexicans. And so right away they knew, like, okay, that's a Hispanic guy. And then they knew about Muslims because they were, one, it was in the med center. So Muslims everywhere. And then two, they served halal meat, so they knew what halal.
I didn't know you guys had halal meat.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, they didn't know the details.
Like what it is exactly.
Oh no! I'm talking for myself. I need to go eat some.
The guys who worked there, they didn't like full. Like I actually, there was a point where I told them like, oh well, this is what it means when it's halal. This is what it means. They didn't know.
Yeah.
They just associated it like, oh, when these Arabs come here. To the point where they didn't start. It was a weird thing.
Halal meat basically what Arab meat.
They would like if like two Arabs walked in, like, oh, there goes two halals. They would say that in like Spanish.
I like that. That's a good thing.
And we'll make Hispanic people will make a slur out of anything. And well, not that it was a slur, but it was a way to refer to Arab people for them.
Yeah,
halos.
Or Muslims really in general. And it was a weird thing because when they found out that I was Muslim, there was confusion. And then there was one guy, he got fired pretty soon after I started. But he was a pretty rude guy. And when I told him I'm Muslim, he was like, why? No, it wasn't just that. No, it was, why? Did you want to have like more than one wife? Is that why you converted? Like, yeah, that's why I converted. Because I really wanted to, I'm really into polygamy. But yeah. And so there was a lot
Catholic is not allowing me to have 4 wives.
I got that too though, and you'll have anyone, like Catholicism is in other races as well, but it's pretty strong in Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people more, that was the only guy who ever told me like, why do you want more than one wife? Most what I would get a lot is like, why don't you believe in Jesus? And I get very offended, like they would get defensive when they found out I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
So, like, with any other culture, like, when you make that change to something that integral to the culture, they do, even though they didn't know me, it's not like they're my family or anything, but they feel a bit, like, betrayal. Like, there's a sense of, like, you abandoned
your people.
The clan for something else. And so, I mean, I didn't, like, there's this, every culture has this mentality where it's like, it's us, we're a clan. And
it's us versus everybody else.
Yeah, and so that was a weird thing. That was the less funny thing. The more lighter side of it is whenever I go to the, like, different masjids, they're always like, where are you from? Like, are you I've gotten Arab, I've gotten Moroccan.
Yeah, Moroccan.
I've gotten...
They did think that he was Malaysian when he came by. The first time he met my parents were at a Malaysian party with the rest of the Malaysian community.
I like that was like a lot of people. So
a lot of people. and then my mom was like, he's just a friend. But the rest of the Malaysians that come up here, they're like, so what's the wedding?
And explaining to my family what where Malaysia was a bit fun. So it's like, no, it's not. So they're like, so it's by like China. Like it's by China, but she's not going to look Chinese. She's definitely not going to look Chinese.
You just said Thailand.
They don't know what that is.
Cambodian.
They don't know what any. They know China. They know Japan.
Indonesia.
They know China.
The mainstream ones. I hate to say this, but like the mainstream ones, right? Like the ones that are usually like out there.
The food kind, like Chinese food, Japanese
They know
food.
Indian.
Oh, Thai
food is good.
Oh yeah, Thai food. But
it's Shark the bear right there. Shark is behind the camera because she says she looks ugly.
But most people, and then for you, it's like when I go to masjid, it's always like, oh, you're Mexican. What are you? Okay, that's cool. Most brothers are cool. Most brothers are just like, oh, you're Mexican. That's new. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But when my family sees you, I don't think anyone's like, what race is she? They're like, she's brown. Okay, but the scarf.
Yeah. It was the scarf that threw them off. Yeah. They were like, ugh.
Which is weird. Which is weird to me, and it kind of annoyed me a lot because in Catholicism and in Mexican culture, women frequently wear not exactly the same, not a hijab.
Not a full thing, but like
something very similar.
Yeah.
And then like,
the white one.
And then so like for women and older, this is like back when my grandma was young, like if a young woman was stepping out of the house, if she was going out to the market, she wouldn't wear like hijab, but she would essentially wear basically the same thing.
That's how in Ethiopia is too. Like when I came here, I'm sorry, I'm just exalting into your questions. Like it was one of the cultural shocks I had was that older people were wearing like mini skirts and like jeans and stuff, but like in Ethiopia, when you get older, they wear the Ethiopian dress, and then they always have like this hijab. It's not really a hijab, but they have like a scarf every time. So like I came here and they're like 50, 60 years old, and they're wearing like mini skirts and skinny jeans, and I'm like, okay, it's not really a shock, but it was like a learning experience.
My grandfather, he's not a Muslim. He's a Hindu. So it's not like I don't know if they have a rule in huh?
Are you talking about the dhoti that?
But when he came here, right? He was shocked. Like we went to the mall and he saw a lady wearing shorts, and then he's like, I can basically see her underwear. It was like, who are these people? And then he saw like in the mall like the person in the cart, and he's like, she can't walk by herself. Like what the hell is this place? Like he was just like, because he's never left Malaysia. He only knows Malaysia, and he usually stays in the hometown area. You know, it's like it's really so he's never seen this, and he suddenly comes here and he sees all this. He's like, what's wrong with these people?
Because it's different, and like actually I'm like ignoring all the questions I have for them. Yeah. But like most of us, we think our cultures are better than everybody else's. Yeah. So like ethnocentrism, we're very like my culture is better than yours. And when I took like anthropology or sociology, the teacher, like my professor was like, take out your westernized glasses whenever you see like some like the Ethiopian culture or like the Hispanic culture or whatever, and try to blend in and learn about their experience. Otherwise, like we're gonna be like old judgmental grumpy people.
I think that's easier for like the younger generation.
It's easier for
but like when older people come here, it's funny to see their reaction though. It's really funny.
It's funny you mentioned the culture thing, because I didn't expect me and Juan to clash culturally at all, but we did clash.
What happened? I'm like, spill the tea. I want to hear.
Can you come up with something that's not that?
No, you don't have to tell the whole story. It's just like what happened. I feel like a lot of people could learn from you too, and that's why I'm asking these questions.
It was like for me, I wasn't used to it, and then I kind of panicked. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
What are you talking about?
Like small things, like okay, so my family.
Yeah, small things. Yeah.
Like you found it bizarre that my family just wore their shoes inside the house.
Yeah, I was really disturbed by it. I was like, it's not clean.
And then it's the opposite in my family. When they, like, to them, taking your shoes off inside of a house, they're like, what's wrong with them? They're going to get their feet dirty. Yeah. So it's like, it's a cultural difference.
Yeah, it's like what's clean and dirty is different. And then also, remember we're in Austin and we're setting up the bed, and you know how you put the blanket over the pillow? Mm-hmm. And then,
I don't put the blanket over the pillow.
Really?
Yeah.
You put pillows over the blanket?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's a blanket over the pillow, right? And then his mom looked at it, and she's like, no, pillow on top.
That was Adrian.
Oh, was it?
It was my brother. My brother looked, and he's like, he kind of like laughed. He's like, what are you doing? Like,
it was a ridiculous thing.
I feel like I did a pretty good job adapting to.
Yeah, you did a pretty good job. For me, I did panic a little bit because I was like,
what am I getting myself into?
I did panic a little bit. Just have it.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I had a mini breakdown in front of him. I was like, why?
So like, it's not only hard for people like, I don't know, people feel betrayed as a religion. Also, like when you marry someone outside of the culture, even like sometimes outside of the tribe, people feel betrayed. Yeah, so
not a cult.
But like they feel betrayed. They're like, why are you marrying somebody else when you have a person who's actually like your own? But it doesn't make sense. But also it's like, I think what I want to say is it's already hard for the couple to adjust and learn about each other's culture. Why do we make it hard for them by being, oh, you're marrying someone who's not Hispanic or like Malaysian or Ethiopian or African American? And so I think diversity is a really, really beautiful thing. So I don't know why we don't want to make it happen. And
I think most people are on board though.
I feel like most younger people are on board.
My family didn't care at all that you were a different culture.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. Yeah.
I don't want to.
That was a part of the issue.
I don't want to say anything, but like there was people who were like, if you get married, it has to be 1 Ethiopian and 2 Ethiopian and 3 Eritrean. Like basically Ethiopian and Eritrea are basically the same, but not really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of. I don't want to say anything because people get mad when you say Ethiopian and Eritrean are the same. But it's like India and Pakistan kind of stuff.
Excuse me, India and Pakistan are separate.
They were the same part of together, and then they separated. We're not having this conversation again. You.
Okay, I would say on camera. Malaysian, Indonesian, I'm sorry, practically the same people.
Okay, see, this is what I like.
What's going on?
You said that, but then at that one wedding,
I'm like, I
they
can't.
were so lost when they were Indonesians. They were like,
This needs to go a little bit.
No, but then they have a different culture, but we're technically the same people.
like Mexicans and El Salvadorians, same thing.
But they still fight. Like
y'all are offending so many people right now. I
know.
How are we
all
offended?
over
Like,
the world.
okay, you know what? Everyone is the same. Like everyone from all 7 continents. And how many countries do we have? 178? Is it 178?
No.
Oh, you're looking at me like I should know this stuff.
Do you know?
You should know. Or like you should be like our Google, like Google.
Oh yeah.
But like we're all the
Be sure to say,
same.
okay, Google, it'll record this.
Oh no, thank you.
How many countries
In the world,
are there?
237. That's my guess. No,
Yeah.
196.
196. So 78, 196. Okay, so like we're all the same. You know what? We all eat, poop, die. And get bored.
Wow, that was
We're
very
all
nasty and
gonna
oversimplified.
Seriously.
We're going to look like crap in the
Learn
grave.
about each other's
look
cultures.
hideous.
What was that movie with Tom Cruise? The one where it was like Edge of Tomorrow, live, die, repeat. I want to do a parody. Eat, poop, die.
See?
That's
That's how life works, okay?
Yeah.
So just be diverse and
Our
love
food looks the same.
everybody's culture. Well, it depends on your diet.
Yeah, it does depend on your diet.
I don't know how this got into
It'll be. I'm looking forward to like when we have, inshallah, we have kids.
diapers. No,
I
you
see,
guys
okay.
are in diapers.
The thing that I will probably struggle with a little bit is, well, no, actually we wouldn't, but I feel like they will struggle with is what do they identify with? Do they identify with the Mexican community?
When you're young, as soon as you're young, people constantly like, what are you? What are you? What are you? What are you?
Yeah.
Like that's one thing that people like. I don't mind it when people are like, oh, are you this? Are you that? And they come up with these crazy things. I'm like,
yeah.
it's nice to know.
It's always nice to know, like, you can be Hispanic or Pakistani or, like, you
can
can
have
a lot of stuff.
You could be Desi in one wedding and then Mexican being in the other.
Exactly.
But when that's like because I'm older and I'm
Nice
already,
gesture.
like, I've already, what's the word? What's the phrase I'm trying to look for? Like I've sort of come to, like thank you. I've come to terms with like the whole race identity issue crisis of identity thing, because it's like at this point I'm comfortable with like, oh,
I'm Mexican.
I'm Mexican, I'm American, but then like neither one of those really define me. But at the same time, it's like there's people want to label you, and once you learn that you don't necessarily need a label, and at the same time you don't need a label, but at the same time you can come to terms like this is part of who I am, but it's not like an all-defining feature. It's not the end-all be-all of who I am or who I will be. It's sort of liberating, and as kids, they're not going to have that right away, but they'll come to terms. Like, eventually, they'll reach. I mean, I'm hoping that they'll reach that point.
Yes, it's shrug.
Okay. Okay. No, but that reminded me of something that I tell everyone. Not everyone, but I've told this story time and time again, and that was one time Azarmi and Juan were walking to you guys were walking me to the bus stop, and then we were talking about like Trump and the wall, and then the Muslim band and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh my god, what? I just realized you're both. And then you're like, Ishraq, really? You just realized? Because you know you're Muslim and you're Mexican.
I knew what she was gonna say. I think before she said.
And yeah, I didn't even say it. I was just, oh my god, what? I just realized. And you were like, Ishraq, really? You just realized that?
I think he's gonna build the wall around him. That's how it's gonna work.
I think that was funny because that was like the first. We're right now in the middle of right in the middle of Ramadan.
Yeah.
And so
I had 10 more days left.
A lot of what happens. I'm just reminded a lot of what happened during my first Ramadan. So I would have that conversation with a lot of people. I would show up to the masjid in downtown to break fast every day, every night. And they would I would meet, you meet different people every night, and people would always be like, "Are you born here? Like, are you like?" People love asking that. I got that at a wedding too. It's like, where are you from? Like, I was born in Houston. But where are you from?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Like, where's your family from? And
I do that too. I'm ashamed.
Can I add one more thing?
I love the fact that our kids are gonna be like, oh, I was born in wherever they're born in. Like, but where's your dad from? He was born in Houston. Where's your mom from? She was born in Malaysia. Like, what are you? Like, what does that mean? This doesn't fit.
I'm a human being.
Yeah, right.
Like, I am myself, and your cultures and traditions and where you're from is part of yourself, but that's not all you are, because you're like a product of a lot of different things, and that's what makes you beautiful. And in that way, like, we're all diverse,
Yeah. My mom actually growing up, I realized that she never told us what we were. She never said we were something. Yeah. It was only to the point where when we moved to some country, they'll be like, what are you? And at the beginning, I didn't know what to answer. I was like,
that's a great question.
What am I? A Muslim? I guess. And they're like, no, race. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I never asked my mom.
So,
my mama didn't tell me.
Yeah, and then later on, I didn't even know my grandfather was Arab, mainly because I was a blur child, but I didn't know the whole time until I think I was 14 or something. But we never talked about race, we never talked about what we were. We just, I don't know.
Just accepted whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes, Ishraq, stop raising your hand.
Up until I moved to America, I used to think racist meant driving, being a race car or something. And I had no concept of race or ethnicity, because it was all, everyone's Bengali, everyone's, you know.
But at the same time, there's tribe. I don't know if you guys have tribe, but there is also that. I don't know if it's racism, but tribalism, I want to call it. I don't know.
We do have colorism, but I didn't even know the term colorism until the BSC meeting last year.
Yeah, so there's colorism, and then there's classism, there is racism, and then there's also a tribe racism, so which is discrimination, which is tribism, I assume,
tribe
or not.
mentality.
Yeah, and you're my tribe is better than yours, and so we have, I don't know. We have a lot of negativity.
But it'll be. I'm looking as far as the whole diversity thing is concerned. I'm curious, and I'm excited to see. Even though there might be a lot of the kids are probably inshallah.
No, I really want to adopt kids to just confuse people a lot more. I want to adopt kids.
They'll have
not because it's good to adopt kids, not because you want to help and be charitable.
That's the first priority, but it'll be funny to see people just confused, asking our kids where they're from.
I like that. I'm Palestinian. I'm Syrian. I'm Malaysian. It will be beautiful.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to navigate that in the future, because it's gonna. That conversation is constantly changing. At this point, it's even difficult to say there's no such thing as. It's very difficult to be well, what race are you? Because that's going to be an increasingly more and more difficult question to ask. Mm-hmm. We can keep creating. I feel like we've reached a point where we can't create labels fast enough. And get them socially accepted and sort of used in society at large. We can't. That process can't keep up with the amount of people from different cultures getting together and starting families and producing these kids who are multi-ethnic, and so like Mexican basically became a label to label these group of people who were born out of indigenous and Spaniard, and then for the longest time the world didn't, it very slowly mixed, and now it's mixing faster and faster. So after a while, that it's going to become an obsolete question. Well, what race are you? Well, what do you mean? 1/16 of me is from here, 1/16 of me is from here. There's not going to be
one way to exterminate racism is just to mix everyone together.
Yeah.
You can't be racist against yourself.
True.
Have you ever had a salad bowl before and after you mixed it? It's way more delicious afterwards.
Also, to think 50 years ago that if you marry someone out of your race, you're gonna go to prison. And now we're talking about how you marrying a Mexican person whose parents are from different part of, I don't know, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's so beautiful, the changes we see, and the people who actually fought for us to be here too. It's, I don't know.
It's got very political.
It did get very political, but I don't know, it's just, there's hair in my hand, and I don't. So we were talking yesterday, my hijab is cheating on me with someone because I kept fighting somebody else's hair.
We were planning to burn it.
Yeah, because
Good Lord.
We can change topics that fast too. But yeah.
Oh, by the way, I haven't issued a threat to the mail.
The last video.
I think the last video was not found because it got so scared of her. So I'm gonna move into the next question, which is gonna be
got you.
the next question, which is gonna be the last question too, because we don't have time.
I know you've been stealing my coupons.
Okay, so my question is, I'm ignoring her.
We're gonna need to explain that because that's. Or
We can explain it in the last minute and show
I'll just be
the proof.
Okay.
The woman who,
With the hijab.
Yeah.
So the last question is, what are you guys looking forward to in the future as a couple? 5 years from now, 8 years from now, 10 years from now. Inshallah, there are gonna be kids who are gonna be biological, also adapted. Inshallah. But also other things you guys are looking forward to.
I can't
in the future.
wait till I put my first diaper on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the cloth diaper thing? I feel like we were headed towards that.
For your children or for yourself?
No, I was talking about.
That's nasty because I had to wash the cloth diaper when of my cousins. Don't do that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, we're gonna
Traveling.
go for a cloth.
But to answer the question about traveling, that's definitely one thing. I had a story.
Yeah, tell the story again
tell it?
because it's a really inspiring, not inspiring, but a really touching story. So tell it again.
It was right after you graduated. Right after you graduated from college, you decided to take a trip to Malaysia.
Yeah.
For about a month.
Mm-hmm.
You left. You left right after a week after graduating.
No, really? I thought she left the night of her graduation.
Well, technically the next week because graduation wasn't it on a Sunday.
It was a Sunday.
And then you left Sunday night, Monday morning.
Oh, she did? Okay, yeah.
Technically, you arrived there next week, but and so you left, and then you came back a few days after Ramadan had started.
Yeah.
And so I went to go pick you up at the airport, and when I got there, I walked over to there was a TV. It was empty. This is George Bush Airport. It's
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. This is the middle. You got back at 11. You were supposed to get back at 10 something, but it got delayed, so you got back after 11. And I walked over to the TV screen, where it's it showed all the statuses for the different flights, and it showed that yours was delayed. And a guy, an older guy, walked up next to me, and he was like, "Oh, are you looking at the thing?" And it turns out his wife was on the same flight. He's like, "Oh, are you waiting for something?" "Oh yeah, my girlfriend's arriving from she had to what's the word? He had to transfer flights, and so you and his wife were on the same flight back home."
Yeah.
And so we walked over to the little station where people were exiting, and different people were walking in and out. And every time someone would walk out, it was really, really like right out of a movie because the doors, there was these sliding doors and they were opaque, so you couldn't see through them. So every time the door slid open and someone walked through, you had no idea who it was going to be. So I was like, like that every time. And so like there was this younger couple, and the girl was arriving, and the guy like ran over, like walked over, like really like they were like young and in love and stuff, and not that we weren't young and in love, but they
just had this slow motion run.
Yeah, they were like, it was
hugging trees and flowers appearing, as we said earlier.
And they like, she like threw her suitcase, and they hugged and they embraced, and I'm like, oh man.
If I was that dramatic, I'll slap myself.
and the
Every
guy,
time you're that cheesy, we're bringing good cheese.
and the guy and me started talking, and he started telling me about his wife, who he basically started telling me their like life story, like a Cliff Notes version of their life story. He started telling me about like how he was in the military, and he met her overseas, and she was Asian as well, and how they like traveled all over the world, how they have now, they're like older, and they have these like this RV, and they like road trip a lot with their friends, and he was just telling me all these stories. And I was just like in awe, like, oh, is this so, like, this is the sort of thing again that you only see in movies. I'm like, oh, that's so, like, what a great life you two have lived. And he starts telling me about how, like, yeah, but she just went back home, and this is probably the last time she'll ever go back home. She's a lot older now. I think she was in a wheelchair, and I never saw her, but he told me that she was in a wheelchair, so travel became very difficult for her. So he's like, this is probably the last time she's going to see her family. We're probably going to go, I don't think he lived in Houston. I think he lived slightly outside of Houston. So like, this is probably it. We might keep doing road trips, but this is the last time I might ever pick her up from the airport. And I just thought to myself, like, oh, how crazy. This is like his last time picking up his wife from the airport, and it was my first time picking you up from the airport. It was like a weird, like, exchanging of like a baton, like he had a relay race, or like a torch, like passing down the torch.
Yeah, he's just been like, I'm giving you my blessing. Yeah. May you have like the adventures and love we had, or they still do.
You're not dead yet.
Hopefully not. And they're like, giving it to you guys, and I think it's really beautiful.
And then he even said, I think there was I think I said something about you, like, yeah, this is the first time we've ever done something like this. This is the first time I ever really picked her up from the airport. We're thinking about maybe taking a trip, like 1 year, 2 years down the road. Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully. And then he just kind of looked at me. He's like, don't worry, you'll get there. And I was just like, oh man, I don't even know this guy, but it was just like a really like cool moment to have. And then you walked in, and I saw you, and I was just like. And I was trying to play it cool. It's just like, when she comes in, I'll be calm. But I couldn't help it. Like, I was like, like when the door's open.
I feel like a doggy when like their owners come.
But it wasn't you, it was someone else.
Yeah.
And then right behind that person, you walked in. So what you caught was me like doing like from this position to like, oh, I guess she's not. And then you saw me, and then I saw you see me, and I'm like, crap, she saw me be sad because I didn't see her.
Aww.
And then I looked for the guy because I wanted to say goodbye to the guy. He was gone. I didn't see him leave, but he was gone. I didn't see his wife or anything. I'm like, was he real?
They said that one turned to a white guy.
Yeah.
It's like
maybe it was me
like in the future.
From the future coming back to tell me that everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because,
we went from like being like typical couple video to getting political.
Yeah.
To making it sweet again to making it political.
Yeah. Well.
Politics and love, it goes hand in hand.
It does. The Lovings. Have you guys watched the movie The Lovings?
No.
It's like 50 years, 55 however years ago. And it's an African American and a white couple in Virginia.
Oh, I saw the trailer for it. Yeah.
We should watch it together.
We should.
You guys should watch it together.
Just to make it clear, we did not come across anything like that. There was no one threatening me or you.
No, not at all.
I hope not. Because, we will be ready for them.
Yeah. There was some...
Dahlia would be ready to square up.
I would look much sadder if that was the case. I'd be like...
I like her sad face. But, okay, so I will give her this opportunity to talk to her mailman now.
Okay.
I know you stole my coupons. I know where you live.
This looks like a hostage video. This looks like
The mailman. Listen, mailman, return my coupons.
the mailman is not.
This is the hostage situation of like you're holding the date to show like you're okay, but return my coupon.
Oh no. Okay. So
The battery is killing us. But okay, this is me. Us signing out and saying bye. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something, and like comment below what you think and subscribe, and tell us what you guys want to hear about. Tell us what you want us to discuss about and be part of our discussion by commenting below. I will say it again. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe, and I'm really bad at saying bye.
And send this out to all the mailmans.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I need to show
in
them
the Houston area.
I need to show them the coupon situation. So this is my table situation right now. This is like a bunch of coupon. You guys didn't say bye.
oh, bye. Bye.